Sol, you've been there, you've been on the front line, you've been managing teams over the last couple of years, and you've seen the harsh side of football management as well. Did Ian make the right decision in going the light entertainment route?
I think for me, like when Wrighty, the badge you want, getting the badges, the time it takes. I can understand sometimes if you slightly go off, say a couple of years, it's very hard to come back unless someone says, "Look, come over, be a striker coach," and things like that, and then you can. There's always a way back in. There's always a way back in, but sometimes you might just drift off too far, and your kind of life is settled, and to come back again is very difficult. I've chosen to kind of step back, do my badges, and slowly kind of, get into that environment. And, I've had 2 jobs. I'm looking for my 3rd one. Just got to keep on kind of hoping, being in the right position, getting the right people around me, which I am, and slowly wait for that opportunity, the right opportunity to come. So then I can kind of get the team good, solid around me. So then when I do get that job, I can, I've got the levers, I've got the support, and I can offer a lot more, to the team that I'm going into. I just got to get the right club, and it's not, in and around this environment, it's not easy, and I have to wait and be patient, and that's really difficult when you've got passion for the game. To be patient, it's very hard. You have to kind of almost go within yourself and be silent and don't allow the rage to kind of overflow that you're not in the game. So what I'm going to do, watch football, maybe do some radio stuff and stay in the game, because at the moment I can't go to training grounds and watch training. It's very difficult, things like that. I used to do that a lot here and abroad to kind of get some more information, write the notes, speak to the manager, watch some games, see how all the training, how that transfers into the games, a European game or a normal league game, domestic game. So I used to do all that to kind of knowledge while I'm not playing or coaching. I'm learning from other managers. It's a little bit difficult now. I can't just for movement, but I can't wait to get back in. Yes, it's a difficult job to get back in, because the time you can be in there is 9 months and you're out. You've got to have impact. You've got to go in there very, very quickly, and that's why you need the right team. So to give you the best opportunity to get going, get the games, get the team working and humming and singing off one hymn sheet. It's not always easy. I found it, there's some, the first 2 teams are very difficult. I'm just waiting for a team that is, okay, settled, and just needs the manager to kind of move them up to the next level. That's what I'm waiting. I've done my other side, kind of saving clubs and trying to kind of, revitalize, a club that is flagging. I don't want that anymore. I think I deserve more than that now. I want a solid and stable club that needs a manager just to move them up to the next level, and I can do that. But I have to be patient, and that's the hardest thing sometimes.
Unfortunately, we're still in a situation where there are so few black managers involved in the game that any black managers, particularly as high profile as yourself, almost need to come out and be a spokesperson and a representative for those managers and for the opportunities or lack of opportunities. Have things got better, do you feel, in recent years? Because it doesn't feel, looking at the numbers, they've got much better in terms of the opportunities that are there for BAME managers.
I feel, you're in between a rock and a hard place. Do you speak out, but then you might, scare off people who might potentially take you on? Or do you have to speak up because, it is a situation now? You've got to look at the numbers. Don't even look at the numbers here. Look at the numbers, across Europe. Look at the numbers across the world. There's a lot of black players who've played, probably want to get back in the game, got their badges, and they're not in the game. And then the first thing, also, when you look down from, say the manager, the coaches, and the fitness guys, doctors, all those things, you look all the way down into the low areas of the under 16s and all that. It's you look down there, it's probably scary, the numbers as well of black managers or coaches within or doctors or whatever in the game. It's not a lot. It's not just the top kind of jobs. It's below it as well. You have to be, mindful of that. So for me, we need to kind of, open up, allow someone to, like me, to build my career. I've seen guys build their career and win nothing. They've been to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs and have gone sideways. Well, give me a chance to build. Give me 10 decent clubs. And if it doesn't work after 10 decent clubs, then okay, it's fine. But you've allowed someone to build their career, several people to build their careers, win nothing, and they're okay. Well, give me the chance to build my career and see where I end up. And give me a platform, like people like me, the right platform to kind of the right, environment, to kind of go on and give me the best chance to win. That's all I want to do. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you have to build it. Sometimes you have to mold the players. Sometimes I don't mind doing that, but give me a chance. Give me a platform. Don't start me on -10. Start me on 0, so then I can build and I can go from there. So that's there's a lot of talk. People are talking. That's good, but it needs to kind of come into the get into the middle and have a situation that it moves forward. Because at the moment it's kind of spread. It needs to kind of consolidate and really just pick off all the main things that we need as a country, as an association, and everybody involved to make a brighter future. It's got to. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of huff and puffing and things like that, and people looking back and looking forward. But really, it's jobs and opportunities, and give people a chance to kind of show what they can do.
And what is it? What is it that should be done? Because you say it's not just managers, it's all aspects of the game, basically with the exception of players, that every part of a football club, they're more or less dominated by white people. So what can be done? If you're talking to, and I don't know if you're having conversations with people who are currently in power, what can be done? Go on, Ian.
Nathan, it's a very difficult and hard question for someone like, as a black man and like someone being a black man to answer, simply because you're asking people who are marginalised, and people we haven't got the levels of people at the management level to go up to be able to give you the opportunities to do that. You say, what can you do? Who do we go to? We don't even know who to go to. You know what I mean? I don't know what, it's like you see with Sol. So what Sol's saying is, Sol has not got the opportunity to manage a team where there's been jobs that have come up of a team that he can actually work with, a team that's got very good players, a team that's got a little bit of money, so as he can have, like he's saying, the same opportunities. Now, why? I don't know. So to ask something like, well, what can you do? We haven't got the answers. And like for Sol to continue to try and answer it, because he's under unfair pressure in respect of what he's trying to do. Because remember, if Sol gets a job, it doesn't go well, bam, look, you know what I mean? We're talking about one of the most decorated black players, one of the most decorated players in the English game, can't get the same jobs as certain people. But the fact is, he's ready to go. He's ready to take the pressure, the undue pressure, what other people don't have to take. But he just needs somebody to give you a chance. Just needs a chance.
Mm. What have you made of what's gone on over the past 6 months, I guess, particularly in English football, Ian, in terms of the stance that the players have taken? And not even the last 6 months, because Raheem Sterling has obviously been very vocal over the last few years. But the fact now that we have players taking a knee before every match, you even see, and look at American sports, it's gone to another level again where teams are threatening to boycott. Like, do you feel this is a change that is making a real impact? Or is it actually, again, just it ticks a few boxes for people, or does it get to a stage potentially where it ticks a few boxes?
No, not this particular time, because what happened with George Floyd is literally people have stopped. And what's happening is white people, more importantly, have said, right, no, we want to change. The conversation has changed. The Premier League have done brilliantly because they've drawn their line in the sand with the Black Lives Matter. I think that when we first saw the guys go down on the knee, Sheffield United and Aston Villa, magnificent, powerful, brilliant. It shows that they're all together, they're unified. And when you look at the guys who are involved with the platforms that they have and the people that they're able to reach, they can keep it going. And that's what's got to happen, really. It's just the conversation has to keep going. We have to have the uncomfortable conversation, not black people. White people have to have it, because this only gets traction when white people get involved and have had enough. That's when things move. is that when they've had enough, and that's what's happened with this particular one. White people have drawn the line in the sand and said, no, I'm not just going to stay silent now. I'm not going to stay silent. I'm going to be anti-racist. So if I'm at a dinner table, if I'm going to say something in here that's going to change the conversation. So it's not just black people who have to constantly try to explain, well, no. It's white people who are trying to understand, because then they can get into the conversation. That's what's happened with this movement. And that's why it's gaining traction.
Do you see that as well, Sol, that this was a line in the sand?
I feel it's quite funny that something has to happen in America for it to really reverberate over here. We've had our moments to kind of move things, but I feel with that, tragic kind of, incident, it's transferred over it, and it's gone global. And the conversation, like Wright was saying, is white people having that conversation now. It's not black people trying to explain everything. It's like, I'm actually want to learn and listen, and I didn't even know this was going on. And that's the trouble. People have woke up. White people have woke up, and the sensitive ones who are open-minded have sometimes it's just dawned on them that I didn't know I was actually doing that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I've got to look at this properly. I've got to look at my kids and things like that. I've got to look at my friends. I've got to look at my friends, listen, and maybe correct my friends when at a dinner table, things like that. It's all changed. The narrative has changed. And now the upper echelons, their conversations have changed as well, because it's a global thing, and everybody is connected somehow. If it's connection, if it's money, if it's kind of being kind of outspoken or whatever, everyone's connected now, and the right people are talking the right conversations now. It's gone up to that level. It's gone to, it was the government level, but now the powers, the power people in radio, the power people in papers, the power people in media. Obviously, that's filtered now. Maybe the power in film has to follow suit as well. It all needs to trickle down, so everybody kind of, wakes up and realize what situation they're in. And it's not make-believe. It's not, oh, no, is that really happening? No, it is really happening. But the conversations are happening now. People are changing, slowly are changing their outlook and how they look at a black player, at a black manager, at a black personality. It's changed. It has changed. And also research has changed. I think the PFA did something. I'm not too sure if it was a Norwegian company or Danish company. They went out to all the kind of major leagues and collected the information, a whole season, collected information and then also America, of how commentators, how they describe a black player or a white player or a light-skinned player, things like that. And it's unbelievable. A black player was like, oh, beast and all that. And then say a white or lighter skin, oh, finesse. All those things, all those subliminal things over year after year after year, that slips into the consciousness of people. And then they don't know they actually have a different kind of look at a certain person. That needs to change. That narrative has to change, into the system, into the consciousness. And then, the guy who is 30 and then becomes 50 and he owns a football club, he might be, had 20 years of actually looking at black players in a more different way, in an intelligent way. Say, do you know what? I'm going to have him. I think that's the problem. We've had 20 years of people just saying that we're just strong and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But no finesse, no intelligence. Can't run a football club. It's too confusing. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Ian, what Sol said there about attitudes changing towards players, towards managers. When you look at the modern day player right now, and like Gary Neville was talking at the weekend about Mason Greenwood and the treatment that was dished out to Mason Greenwood, who was in the exact same incident as Phil Foden, and they were both very stupid and made a mistake, but they're young boys. Yet it's not Phil Foden who's in the paper 6 days later for making another silly mistake, but nothing major. It's Mason Greenwood. That modern day players face a different sort of racism from what you faced 20, 30 years ago. It's done in a different way through the media. It's not as open, it's not as overt, but it's still there subliminally.
Yeah, but the thing is that I made a quote the other day about the Martin Luther King generation, which I believe was mine. I think Sol kind of like could be put in that where you do have to turn the other cheek, come into the dressing room and you deal with what's just happened to you. But like we're dealing now with the Malcolm X generation who can do something about it by any means necessary. And like I said, they've got the platforms to be able to do it, and they've got the followers and to be able to get their points across and make people hear what they've got to say and make change. That's what it comes down to, making change. You know, you look at, the thing is that people sometimes feel that, oh, here's another black guy talking about racism. Oh, here we go, probably go and make a cup of tea. But when I heard Ben Mee asked to, I want to do an interview with the banner and everything that was going on at Burnley. And when Ben Mee came out and spoke so eloquently about racism, somebody that no one would have thought would be speaking about it, he got that message across like nobody else could. Because what we've seen there is somebody that you're not expecting explain himself and say to it's not acceptable. And this is what I'm talking about, the uncomfortable conversation. And when I saw that, that was as powerful and as good as anything I've seen anybody do on the television, because that is what makes people listen.
Yeah, that is
massive ally, Ben Mee.
No longer enough just to say you're not racist. You need to be
Absolutely.
overtly anti-racist.